श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथनितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं राधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं स हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपीकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिस्वरूपदामोदर स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमः सद्भक्तमनाय मणिपुर उद्भावय च प्रभुपादलसद्वाणी प्रचारनिरताय ते। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भागवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नाम संकीर्तनं जस्य सर्वपाप प्रणाशनं, प्रणाम दुःख शमनं तं नमामि श्रीहरिपरम्। So today we'll be discussing the chariot analogy. Like this human body is like chariot. So understand this human body as a chariot, which should be utilized for the service of Lord under the guidance of the intelligence of Supreme Personality of Godhead. How Arjuna utilized his body for the service of Supreme Personality of Godhead under the protections of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. So living entity and the super soul both resides in this body. The place is heart. So in the chariot analogy, so there are two seats. One is the seat for the driver, another is the seat for the person who is traveling in the chariot. So this human body is a chariot. Then who are traveling in this chariot? One is the soul who is sitting like Arjuna is sitting in the chariot, and Lord Krishna is driving the chariot. So both soul and super soul are there to drive. But if you want to drive the chariot by the false ego, ahankara, abhimana, asat jnana, ahankara, the false ego, getting a false identity, identity of a material form, claiming that this body is me and mine, mama eva, aham mamatva. So this is the polarizations of our true identity. So similarly, our thought is polarized. When we try to enjoy the material nature, then we got this material body. When we are surrendered, we try to release the transcendental bliss of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here, our sambandha and the realization of the sambandha, the relationship and the realization of the relationship is that Mama eva ansa, Ami Krishnara Nityadas. I am the eternally fragmental part and portion of Lord Krishna, and I am eternally the servant of the Krishna. So, with that, Sambandha realizations, the relationship realizations, living entity execute first class devotional service. They are called unconditional or liberated. Such liberated devotee always resides in the spiritual abode, being a Nitya Mukta Jiva or unconditioned. Others who chosen to enjoy the material world, being the Lord over the material nature. Here, the false position of taking the ownership over the material nature is so strong in the living entity, then the three modes of material nature influences the jiva to work in a certain way. So now the living entity who is supposed to take the shelter of Sat Chit Ananda Maya Ghan Swarup, Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gives Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. Sat Chit Ananda, the pleasure which is eternal and comes from Vidya, the path of surrenderness, is the Sachidanandamaya Sukha, is the constitutional positions and the real releasement of the jiva. Bewildered with the influence of Maya Sakti in the thought of independent enjoyment, living entities attracted towards this. So, has accepted the asraya of bhautika or bhuta prakriti, material nature. And material nature is of three modes: sattva, raja, and tama. Sometimes overpowered by sattva, sometimes overpowered by raja, sometimes overpowered by tamaguna. Living entity acts according to the awkward mode of material nature. With that, he so merged into the happiness and suffering of the uh, path or the life that he forgot the established relationship or the real relationship with Krishna. Krishna भूली से जीव अनादि बहिर्मुख अतवे मायातार देह संसारेर दुख. Repeatedly suffering the life after life, one birth after another birth, the raga and desa janita, sukha and dukha. This happiness and suffering due to raga and desas. Too much attachment is raga, and desa, aversion, is again due to attachment only. Something you like, something you dislike. So, falling in the trap of that, a living entity is blind to the path of liberations. So, bondage, illusions, and struggle happens if a living entity come to inquire about Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Let us now inquire about the absolute truth. Then he start the road towards liberations. There the struggle happens with the bondage illusions, the power of illusion of material nature, and the struggle goes with the sadhana patha, the road of a regulated life. So, understanding this chariot analogy is very important to guide us that how this body can be best utilized, just like the chariot can be best driven in a shortcut and the path which is full of stones, river, ditches, and there are many obstacles. How these obstacles can be overcome while leading the chariot to the destinations of Krishna Bhakti or transcendental pleasure, the pleasure which is eternal and coming from Vidya. Chit means Vidya. Avidya is ignorance from the three modes of matter nature. Whatever enjoyment we are seeking is avidya sukha, and its nature is asat, temporary, and the pleasure that we are deriving is illusory. Just like a camel searching for the water and fall in the trap of hunger and thirst, sometimes eat the thorny plants, and the camel get the sense of hot blood flowing from the tongue, and feel that the mouth, whatever blood comings, that leaking own blood, the camel think that these thorny leaves are very tasty. Similarly, our builder state of sense enjoyment gives us many fake identifications of happiness in material objects, but in reality they are all suffering, and happiness always looking to be ahead. Just like mirage is seen in the desert due to reflections of sunshine in the sand. Similarly, the reflections of three modes of material nature shows that happiness are ahead. Let me struggle now, let me work hard now and earn more money so that I will be happy. With this, the senses are pushing the living entity and they become unregulated. So this path is reversed. So when senses pull the mind, and mind bewilder the intellect influenced to fulfill the desire of the mind, and intellect do not interact with Paramatma. Even though sometimes we hear from sadhu or sometimes we read from scriptures, till our intelligence, which is binded with the power of mind, is not able to follow or interpret the instructions of Paramatma. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Even though remembrance, forgetfulness, and the guidance, upadrashta, anumanta, bharta, bhokta, maheshwara, paramatma, chapi yukto, dehe asmin purusah para. Being situated within our heart, he is the overseer, upadrashta, anumanta, permit giver, bharta, he is the maintainer, bhokta, he is the real enjoyer. But we think that we are the enjoyer. Bhokta, Bhokta, Maheshwara. He is the Lord of everything. Paramatma Chapyukto Dehe Asmin Purusha Para. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the only guide. If we do not allow Lord Krishna to guide us, then definitely these three modes of mental nature, they pull us and make us fall in ditches or rivers, stones. Many obstacles are there, and we keep on suffering in this life. So this chariot analogy is very important, that how these senses are so important and can pull, a living entity like Krishna Arjuna chariot you have seen, and this chariot you see that if the senses and the mind all are unregulated, they put the living entity in a horrible anxiety. The sensory pull can be regulated, how this behavior is influenced by these sensory pulls, like to see good images, mm, like nowadays attractive lusty images are available in mobile, laptop, everywhere in internet or cinema, etc., movies, whatever things that provoke the lusty desire are becoming attractive. So, is a sensory pull. Rather, this eye can see the most beautiful form of Kandarpa Koti Kamanya Bisesa Subham of Lord Krishna. Similarly, the nostril may uh, get interested to smell the provoking things in sense or lusty desire kind of activities, bad smells, mundane smells. We can transform that by smelling the flowers offered to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Instead of picking a flower and taking the smells directly, rather we should offer the flower to the lotus feet of Krishna and smell it. Or any scent you can, whatever you are applying in the body. So, like in the Mangalarti, we apply Narsinga uh, oil, this oil which we offer to Lord, all these scented things, all that we use can be a smell from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So smell can also be regulated. Similarly, tongue, ear, and our touch all can be applied for the service of Krishna. We can always desire to touch the lotus feet of Krishna, serve with this body as much as possible. Various services like Janmashtami we did. Hear the glories of Krishna, speak the glories of Krishna, taste Krishna Mahaprasad. So that is how you can redirect or transform the pool of the senses. If they are not regulated, it reflects in our human behavior, and we follow the path of raga and dvesa, attachment, deep attachment, and aversions in material objects, fall in the trap of material enjoyment, and in reality, we get anxiety, kuntha, and our goal to remain in Vaikuntha, free from these anxieties. For that, regulation is essential. So, these distractions are in many forms. One has the duty that this mind, which is possibly can pull towards the material sense enjoyment, become kumana, bad mind, need a transformation to become sumana. Sumana means that good. Uddharada atmanam atmanam no atmanam avasadayat. This mind should become a very good friend in regulating these senses towards the transformations of prasada, enjoying the prasada of Krishna and offering the service to Krishna. So, service to Krishna and enjoyment of the prasada coming from Krishna is the goal. By that way, this mana becomes sumana. Otherwise, if it engages us in kama, krodha, and lova, trividasya, narakasya, dwaram, these three gateway to hell lead us toward anxiety and a repeated suffering in this. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, life, death, old age, diseases, the sufferings from this mind because of so many expectations. Sometimes we get, then we get moha. And what is moha? Moha is enemy. Moha Satru, the greatest enemy. When your desire concentrate further, it becomes moha. Moha Satru. Kama Roga, this lusty desire is the disease. And uh, Krodha Vanhi. When we involve in lusty desires, it generates moha. When we do not get the lusty desire things, but whatever we aspire for in a involvement, whether we enjoy the lusty desire, then we get into moha. Whether we cannot, then we get into anger. So it has two paths. One is path of moha, other is path of anger. So anger is banhi, moha is satru, and what is lusty desire is a disease. So we have this bhava roga, desire of calm, desire of uh, lust or kama is a great disease that affect our body. See the state of this living entity. Because of that, it always remain in anxiety, troubled with many consequences of the body. So at best, what it can do, it can seek some immediate pleasure. So it is the state that to come out of continuous sufferings. It just want some instant pleasure. Dandya jane raja jeno nadite chubaya. Earlier there was a punishment that a person was put inside the water and taken out for some while to inhale so that he will survive. So for that survival inhale was given. So that survival inhale was a pleasure for such person who was getting punished like that. Dandya jane raja jane nadite chubaya. So similar kind of pleasure a living entity seek. He need that pleasure of breathing out of breathlessness. So breathlessness are the sufferings. So the little breath, a little time to breathe is the enjoyment for the living entity. So that is how our struggle goes on, and unless we accept the guidance of Sadhu Guru, unless this mind become a sumana. Sumana is like a flower which can be offered at the lotus feet of and Krishna. When this mind help us in transforming and engaging in the services of Krishna, that is the vidya, chit, or when our mind is completely regulated with the vidya and we are free from avidya, then we might get seva sukha dukkha. Seva sukha dukkha parama sampada nasaya avidya dukkha. The suffering we get is avidya dukkha, coming from avidya. And the pleasure we need is that it can be materially not looking as pleasure. It can be materially looking to be a dukkha. It can be looking materially as sukha. But we need seva sukha dukkha. What is coming as a result of seva, it can sometimes very troublesome. Suppose in Janmashtami, you worked so hard, even though you are fasting. So your body was getting some trouble. But imagine how much pleasure you got in Janmashtami. So you were fasting till midnight, yet you all danced. Where you got that energy? In other day, if you are not in the spirit of fasting, still you little bit dance or go, you get tired. But whole day you fasted, and at the end, 12 o'clock, you all are dancing. How it is possible? These are the spiritual power, sukha of vidya, the service sukhas that is coming from the service is transcendental. You can realize it. Utkramantam stitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanyutam vimudhananu pasyanti jnana chakyusa. Those who are doing this kind of service, they can realize it. Others cannot. So this kind of pleasure you may get, pain you may get, which is looking to be pain, but it's all tapasya sukha or seva sukha. It looks for outsiders that this devotee is suffering, but he is not. He is enjoying. So, like that, the spiritual attraction can be increased by transforming this mind to a sumana, and this sumana is the flower that can be offered at the lotus feet of Krishna. And when it is becoming kumana, it distract ourselves from the spiritual path. So the ahankara, abhimana, asatsanga, asatjnana are the four things you can easily remember. अहंकार अभिमान असत्संग असज्ञान छाड़ी भज गुरु पाद पद्म. So this material body need to be freed from the influence of four things. What are they? Ahankara. These are the arrows. That mind shoot for the sense enjoyment, killing poor animals or torturing other living entity. পরেরে উদ্বেগ দিয়াছি যে কেত দিয়াছি যে কত নিজ সুখ লাগি পাপে নাহি ডরি দয়াহীন স্বার্থপর. So when living entity fall in this trap, uses this ahankara, abhimana, asatsanga, asatjnana, bad association, especially such materially motivated people, they mix with all the asat sangi. असत्संगी, who is असत्संग? जोशित संगी एक असाधु कृष्ण र अभक्त आर. Those who are not devotee of Krishna. कृष्ण र संसार करी दाम्पत्य धर्म थाके असत बलि शास्त्र न बलि ताहाके. It is not they are those who are in Grihastha dharma, they cannot be called as Joshit Sangi, but he need to be in Grihastha dharma. कृष्ण र संसार थाकी दाम्पत्य धर्म थाके. Even though he or she associates with husband and wife in a regulated life as per scriptural guidance, the purpose is to serve Krishna. So mutually help each other in regulating the senses. Bevaya praja naratihi. The marital life's association is not for sense enjoyment, but for good progeny. But both of in Grihastha life, both husband and wife should be regulated for the purpose of pleasing Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then that is not asatya. Such dampatya dharma is not asatya. Asatya bali shastra na bali tahake. That is not asatya. But otherwise, those who are interested in the association of women, they are called asat sangi. Such asat sangha influences our life, our behavior, and our false ego remains so prominent that we shoot this arrow on others, torture them for our own enjoyment. Dayahina, no mercy for others, swarthapara, completely selfish. When we see that others are flourishing, we are troubled. Para dukhe sukhi. Para dukhe sukhi. Para sukha dukha kara. When others are getting some happiness, we are getting unhappy. So this kind of enviousness developed as the result of kama, krodha, lobha, madness, mada. Finally, enviousness generates. So this how we all troubled by this bad mind, and our intellect is overpowered by that bad mind, and that all are influenced with contaminated consciousness, influenced by ahankara, abhimana, asatsanga, asatgyana. So this harmful effect of false ego is a great hindrance in the spiritual development. Our thought are so polarized in this material sense enjoyment, then we don't see beyond. For that reason, the regulation is essential in a spiritual path. We have to identify the illusory involvement. We have to find satsanga, true devotees associations, because the word of devotee has the power. Problems are many, everybody are struggling into many problems. Solution is only one, that is devotions. When the sabda has the power of the brahma, this word, your word is like arrow. In your word, your ahankara, abhimana, asatsanga, asatgyana can sit and influence people in enjoying the material world. That may be attractive to everybody. Or in your word, your true identifications to surrender next to Krishna, the sadhu, guru, shastra vakya can sit, called Sabda Brahma. Jiva Daya can happen by prayers, by bhakti. A devotee who do sadhana, bhajana, nama bhakti, when he is strong in his own sadhana, Brahmanda Tarite Sakti Dhare Dane Jane. Srila Prabhupada could change the people of America who were at that state of gross illusions, not obeying any rule. They eat meat, they were drinking liquor and trap of intoxication like drugs, and their association with women, they like almost naked, called hippies. Srila Prabhupada could change them. The Sabda Brahma. When Sabda Brahma sit in the word, it influences the heart. Otherwise, whatever we speak without sadhana, without devotion in ourselves, that has no power. It can hardly last 3 minutes. It cannot have more power than 3 minutes. Prabhupada used to tell, your preaching cannot last more than 3 minutes. Better hand over my books. Your preaching is required for book distribution. But when the devotion is strong in your heart, when your word is empowered with Sabda Brahma, that can bring change in people. So if you want to do preaching, first become a great devotee. भारत भूमिते मनुष्य जन्म होने जाए जन्म सार्थक करा. First make your life successful by sadhana, by bhakti, by devotion. Kari para upakar, then you can do jivedaya. When when you speak, when your devotion speak, that changes the heart of others as well. So that is satsanga. We need satsanga of these devotees whose word can influence us. When a devotee is present, Sankirtan is happening, you will feel the happiness. The environment will be enjoyable spiritually. So try to be in association of devotees. Suppose things are all arranged so systematically, all well designed, everything looks like very well managed, lots of money are spent, but all is arranged with false ego, a desire of getting prestige, that we are better than others, other parties. All these spirits, they are doing like this, will do better, competitions, mentalities. You make other people being attracted emotionally. You may generate claps, you may generate tears, but that will not be sufficient to bring devotion in them. You may get emotions, you may get claps, you may get tears, but it is not possible to generate devotion unless your devotion is empowered with Sabda Brahma. When the word is becoming Sabda Brahma, when you hear with Sat, such sadhu, Vaishnava dehete thake, শ্রী কৃষ্ণের শক্তি সেই শক্তি বড়ে হয় অন্য কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি. So that is the path. When such a great devotee speaks and Jivasila Vaishnavera নিকটে শ্রদ্ধায় তাহার হৃদয় প্রেমে বস্য হইবে উদয়. So great devotees are there, they are merciful to everyone, but everyone are not getting that benefit. Those who are sitting in front of them with faith, tat vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Faithful person are the receiver. So that receiving ability to receive the mercy of Guru and Krishna, becoming a good pot, just like ocean is there. How much water you can get depending upon your capacity of the pot. There is no dearth of water in the ocean, but you cannot get all ocean water. You can get the water based on the pot you have. You have a big pot, you can get more water. You have a small pot, you can get little water. So, like that, when Jiva conscious about proper sadhu sangha, that is the only mean. Sadhu sangha, sarva shastra kahe, lava matra sadhu sanghe, sarva siddhi hai. Asat sangha, josit sanghe, sarva siddhi jai. Those who are associating with women, if you are influenced by them, if you make friendship here with them, Josit Sangi or Krishna or Avakta, those who are non-devotee, all the siddhis, even if we are advanced in Krishna consciousness, they will go away. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi, the path to all kind of siddhi. Asat Sangha, Josit Sangha, or association with women, association with the non-devotees, are the source of to remove all these siddhis. So here is the point of regulations. You have the scope to free yourself from Asat Sangi and Josit Sangi, and you have the scope to search, aspire for the association of the great devotees. So here is the conscious decision. We are engagement. Otherwise, automatically it will go down. रसवर्ज रस अपि परदृष्टा निवर्तन्ते विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिन रसवर्ज रस अपि परदृष्टा निवर्तन्ते. So this is the path of regulation, regulating mind. Mind can pull you towards that, mind can pull you toward this. Your guidance is that you give the identifications, your identification, how mind works, what is the energy of mind. Mind is empowered by your identifications, sankalpa sakti. You have given the identity, I am this body, this senses is mine. When you have given power to your senses, and mind understand, oh, they are the real enjoyer, they are the real owner. Panchavitani panchavitani indriyani panchavi kurute karmani. These etani panchavi indriyani, they are the real enjoyer, and you are the sufferer. They should be utilized to make or to get the enjoyment. You could be the enjoyer, they could be the servant, but now they are the enjoyer and you are the sufferer, you are the servant. That is the positions. They need to be regulated. Otherwise, they will become the master and you will be the servant, you will be the sufferer. This mind, see, if these senses are unregulated, for 2 minutes or 5 minutes instant pleasure, you may get capital punishment, death punishment, or imprisonment, lifetime imprisonment. Anything can happen. See, these unregulated senses can pull you to anywhere. This is very, very important that we have the choices. We have the choices to engage this mind in service of Sadhu Guru and make this mind a good flower to be offered at the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna. So interacting with this physical body through regulations of mind under the guidance of Sadhu, Guru, Shastra is essentials and the way to spiritual realizations and experiences. This analogy further explained here. Krishna, who is the witness, Upadrashta, Anumanta, Varta, Bhakta, Maheshwara, when you hear his guidance, that is the path of Buddhi Yoga. Arjuna was explained in second chapter how you can be guided by Buddhi Yoga, and he completely surrendered to Krishna and was under the guidance of Krishna. Even though at the time of killing Karna, Arjuna was reluctant. His intelligence was telling that I am a Kshatriya, I have the duty not to kill a person when he is not having his weapon in the hand and when he is not a state of fight. But Krishna told you kill. Even though his intelligence was telling something else, but he didn't listen to his own intelligence, but Krishna's intelligence. In many instances, even though Arjuna see a different dharma than what Krishna speaks, but he was completely taking shelter of Krishna and he understood what Krishna is speaking, that is dharma. Veda pranita dharma, that is dharma. That is okay. Veda is also spoken by Krishna. Vedesya sarve ahameva vedya. Vedanta krita veda vid evacha. Bhagavad Gita 15.15. He only wrote Veda. So Jamadutas are speaking whatever explained in Veda, that is dharma. Adharma atanyatha. So all others are adharma. But that is there, Veda is there, Veda vadarataha partha, nanyat astiti vadana. Triguna Vishaya Vida Nistraya Guna Bhavarjuna. Veda give a gradual process of elevations for Sattaguni, Rajaguni, and Tamaguni. Based on your mode, you act. But when you are practicing devotion, which is Nirguna, then the path explained in Veda is a secondary path. It becomes Gona Patha. Because Veda attracts the living entity with Badarata or enjoyments. You do this, you'll get this. Because of you get this, the people who are in especially Raja and Tama, they cannot do any activities without the desire. Sometimes in devotion also neophyte you can see, if there is no prize, no appraisals are there, and no such profit mentality was been given, it's difficult for him to act in Krishna consciousness also. Especially at the beginning neophyte state, some labha, puja, pratishtha, that devotees are glorifying, all are saying you are a great devotee, all this pratishtha, the nature of being established, or getting some gain out of it. That gain may not be in terms of money, it can be prestige, it can be anything. The gain mentality, Arrajaguna. So sometimes because guna influence the senses to work, and we are now utilizing this guna to transform. At the neophyte state, you have to engage guna, but remind Straigunya Visayaveda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. Being in guna, you act, but remember that you have to transform yourselves beyond the gunas. How all of a sudden you can become nirguna? It is a gradual process, and the process also need the involvement of guna. When this guna is not engaged in sense gratifications or sinful activities, but in the service of the Krishna, it evolves. When this guna engaged in sense gratification, it devolves. Here is your role. Make it evolve. Rasa varja, rasa api, paradushta nivartante. Then gradually it evolves. Then it gives up. First it gives up Bevichara. When it gives up Bevichara, the mode of acting in service, the neophyte, improves. What Bevichara you give? When you come to this path of Krishna consciousness, you have given up meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, right? And gambling. You have given up. So major Bevicharas you have given. Many other Bevicharas are there. So when you give Vyabhichara, then you come out of Tamaguna. Then Rajaguna, Labha. And up to liberation is also Labha. Why you want liberation? For Krishna's pleasure or for your pleasure? Sajuja Mukti, why you want that? For your pleasure, that is Labha. Though it is Sattaguna. So, Labha, Bebhichara, if present, then you are in Tamaguna. If Bebhichara is not there, but Labha is there. So, Veda Vadaratava, that is good. Bhogeshwarja Prasaktananta Yaparutta Chets. The mind is taken away. Bhoga, Aishwarya. They do dharma, but mind is attracted. So gradually, if they are taking shelter of Bhavichar, they will again in the Tamaguna. Because they are so influential, they can put you at any time in Bhavichara. So coming out of this Bhavichara is not easy. So it is essential that we practice seriously, and the guna need a transformation always. So with this, when we evolve further, we engage our senses, rasavarja rasapi paradushta nivartante, sabaihi, means all the senses are engaged in the service of Krishna, then it transforms. So then from raja it also gives us the desire of labha, go to sattva, then finally it also gives us the desire of mukti, siddhi, then it becomes nirguna. At the state of nirguna, it is completely freed from material influences. Such mind always pushes to engage in the service of Krishna, like Brajavasis, the feelings of the Braja Gopis and Braja Gopas, the friends, parents, and lovers of Krishna. With that state of devotional service, one cannot be influenced, and his mind become Sumana Puspa, which is offered to the lotus feet of Krishna. That is how the evolution should happen. So there are various covers: Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. So finally, you have to reach this state. I think we have crossed the time. We can discuss in next classes further. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.